So then we have to get a nono here so we can welcome to playing on the Italian slate.
Wait, okay. I was going to say, could you speak to Mango and see if he can do refereeing on one of them? Okay, just see if you can. Mango. Okay, live. Okay, welcome to today's Reedy's money matches, and we'd like to welcome Clint Goyen and Anthony Kotze, and they'll be playing in a match side by side with Shaun, Lorenz and Chris Livingstone. Should be some very close matches. They've practiced hard, these guys, and we're looking forward to getting it on. I'm going to interview a few of the boys in a second, and we'll get them over for a bit of a chat, and we'll get right into it.
Reedy.
Hello, mate.
How's it going?
Mate, good. Mate, we've done this many times.
Quite a few times.
What's your win-loss record?
It's not great. 1 win, 3 losses, I think.
1 win, 3 losses. When was your last time?
Alvo.
Alvo, how long ago?
It would have been not the last card, the card before. So
card before,
probably
okay.
about 6 to 9 months ago.
What's changed from then to now?
Definitely put in a lot more table time. Enjoying the game a lot more. Got a daughter now, so family life.
Okay,
and a lot's changed.
More confident within your game?
Definitely.
And do you feel playing in these money matches, it's really helped you to become a better player?
It's a completely different environment, completely different atmosphere. It's definitely, showing me what I need to work on to better my game.
Yes.
It's a completely different feeling out there compared to anything else that you experience.
Would you say for the up and coming players that aren't at your level that it's a good experience to get into something like this to progress your level?
Yeah, definitely. As long as you can, learn from, whether you win or you lose, as long as you learn something from that, that's the number one goal. There's always going to be a winner, there's always going to be a loser. It's about getting better and, learning from those mistakes and bettering your own game.
All right, Shawnee, mate, I wish you all the best today, mate. I hope you play well.
Thanks, mate.
And enjoy yourself.
Will do.
See you, buddy. Hey, Chris, how are you, champion?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
Good. How did this game come about?
So I had my first money match. Didn't go so well, and I wanted to get back into it as quick as possible, but I also had some work to do after the last one.
Yeah.
And just put my name down. Shaun, as someone that was proposed to me over a year ago, would be probably a good matchup, and I agree. So when you suggested Shaun, I was just like, yeah, let's do it.
Because you'd talked about it before.
Yeah.
After your first run, how are you a different player now compared to your first run? Do you think just that experience or looking back at it? Tell me a bit about your prep and how you feel you've grown.
Yeah, well, on my prep coming into this, I haven't done as much prep because I don't believe in doing the same thing twice if it doesn't work.
Okay.
But after going back, look, it was mostly just experience, just the pressure. I let the scoreboard pressure get to me early and just never really got out of it. It wasn't really that much work to do. When I look back at the video, I was just making bad decisions because of just the pressure.
Yes.
So I've just decided to come into this a bit more relaxed and just focus on playing good pool, and the result will be the result.
Mate, it's a beautiful strategy. Look forward to watching you today and having a chat later.
Yeah, cool.
And hopefully you get out of it what you want.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Good on you,
Appreciate it.
buddy.
Cheers.
Okay, we'll grab, who are we going? Clint. Hey Clint, how are you,
How are
mate? Mate, your first money match.
Yeah,
Excited?
yeah. Been pretty keen to have one for a while now.
Okay. I always see you on the table, always practicing hard.
Yeah, I like to have a hit.
Yeah, you like to have a hit. How did this match come about?
I got onto you for a money match.
Okay. And you just like the idea of putting your hat in the ring and having a go?
To progress as a pool player, you have to play money matches.
I agree.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been told. So.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Mate, I'm a big believer of preparation, and I feel you've prepared.
Yeah, well, I haven't got on the table as much as I would have liked to this week, but yeah, I have been preparing coming into it, yeah. But, working that. But, and I don't have a training table, so.
Good luck today, and I hope you do well.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Yes. Ready.
My big power, Ant. Mate, this is what it's all about.
It's a long time coming.
Mate, it's what we play the game for.
Loving it.
And,
Ready.
and if we want to, progress in this game, this is what we do. We play some pool and we have
learn.
money games. We practice hard. I'm excited.
Me too.
I'm excited.
I think this is the first time I've really been ready, and I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm good.
Obviously you and I have done a bit of work in the past, and that's no secret to anyone.
Yep.
I don't have any favourites in any of the cards I have, but
pool.
It's pool, and I sort of haven't had a word to you today, and I thought I'd just save it to just having a chat with you now.
Yeah.
But I wish you all the best,
Looking forward to it.
And like I said to Clint, I'm a massive believer in preparation, and I believe you're prepared.
Yeah, I think we both are. It's not going to be an easy match, and I'm looking forward to it, though. I'm looking forward to the battle. So,
Mate, go hard and enjoy yourself.
that's all I can do.
And it's great to see the support from your family,
Yeah.
and
That's why we're here.
Take care and good luck.
Cheers, buddy.
Okay, so we might grab Jay back in here, because I sometimes run out of words, and Jay just says, "Ready, go. Look, Ready, you got nothing." This is where Jay jumps in and says, "Ready, listen, you're out of words," and this is where he just comes in and takes over.
Big day of matches. There's a lot of, I think, every single time slot. We've got some really, really close matches. I think today you've put together a really good card. We finished off last night with a really tight one, an 11-10 final score. Hopefully we get another couple of tight ones today as well. So no doubt the final match, the matches today, the main draw card is what we're here to watch. But the undercards got some tantalising matches.
Mate, there's so many 50-50 ones today.
Yep.
You'd be happy on any player that you picked. If me and you were going to have $5 on something or $10 on something, you don't care who you have, and we're not having a bet because we just don't know who can win.
Well, that's the thing. You did ask me before we started the stream, who are my picks in these matches. I said, yep, don't put it on me because I've got no idea.
So I look forward to every match today,
Yep.
and probably especially the fella that I just interviewed then,
Tony?
Anthony, Tony. As I've been putting a bit of work in with him, so I'm looking forward to that. And then obviously you've got your main events later with Keenan coming from WA, playing against Big Mac.
Made his way across last night.
Oh, that's just, I mean, they're not Stevie Woods, Barney kind of level matches, but mate, sometimes they don't have to be that level to produce that mouth-watering sort of event.
Well, you're definitely bringing the draw cards. They're coming across the country to play in it.
Yeah.
You're definitely putting something together.
Yeah, so Thanks again, Jay, for coming
No
down
problem.
here this weekend to help out.
Not a problem at all.
And you make it easier for me because I feel more relaxed having a chat with you than just talking to myself.
Too easy. Let's get stuck into it.
Let's go, bud.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the viewing.
Morning everyone and welcome to day 2 of Reedy's 8-ball Q Sports September 2023 money card. It's the 10:30 session. We have Shaun Lorenz playing Chris Livingstone on table 1, and on table 2 we have Anthony Kotze and Clint Goyen. Reedy's down with the players at the moment, with the referee just giving them the briefing of conditions and making sure that everyone's on the same wavelength, and everything's played in fairness. We're running a 45-second shot clock on international rules, a race to 11, and we're looking forward to kicking off very shortly. Right, Chris Livingstone wins the lag and will break first. Not a massive explosion. A little bit of cluster top end of the table. Reds probably look a little bit more of a favourite considering the cluster of yellows top centre of the table. Red's been a little bit more spread. Could look at taking the hard red right now in the bottom right corner, but he's choosing to go yellow. Shaun's decided to go yellow. Could probably just knock this in the centre, come back a couple of inches, and the yellow, which is closest to at the moment, he could possibly play that off the red that's on the top rail that's obscuring the 2 yellows at the top of the table. Just to open up the path for those 3 yellows, and that will really open up the frame for Shaun here. Looks like that's his plan. Probably just travelled that wide a little bit too far. As my mate Reedy's starting to join me here in the commentary box. Okay, mate, you've done your little bit of a chat.
Yeah, I just do the normal spiel of keep it fair, no biting, no scratching. You know, when people start biting and scratching, you've seen that before, haven't you?
Unfortunately, in the pool scene, it happens quite a lot.
How many? We got 20 viewers just joined in. Nice. A few people are here to watch. Nice display of pool.
Make sure you say hi, ask any questions, get involved. We like interacting with you guys. So
You know, Jay, I don't think we're going to start drinking until later today, mate. A little bit later. I don't mind if you wanna. You let me know when you're ready to get going. But for me, Nessie's put a bit of a bar on me with the drinking today because she reckons I'm driving home later.
yep, I will be also. So I'm
So we'll just
okay
keep-
with that.
We'll
Yep.
keep you to a few.
Yep. Thank you very much.
You can have a few. I'll allow it.
Nessie's given the leave pass. Thank you, Nessie.
I'll allow a couple.
So they're into it. First break here from Clint. Mate, look, cracked it nicely, but they
Yeah.
didn't come out. And you
Yeah.
sort of wonder to yourself, geez, you hit that flush. Why don't they come out? And I think it's maybe loose balls in the rack. I mean, it's the unknown in our game, isn't it?
Possibly.
Because he freshed that.
Well, it happened on table one as well. I mentioned it as well. Like he made good contact, but they just didn't explode. They seemed to spread okay. Shaun's got himself in a bit of strife here. I don't know if. Sorry, I wasn't watching who played the shot leading up to it. Oh, he was on that yellow. I didn't think he was on it.
Mate, there's going to be a bit of body language in this match.
On the table two?
Oh, yeah, a bit of
Table
body
two,
language.
yep.
There'll
Yep.
be some steering,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll throw their handbag at it and all sorts of stuff. But that's just all part of the pressure.
Yep.
And even at the elite level, because I'm a mover of the body, unfortunately, it happens.
It does. It does. And sometimes it's just muscle memory, isn't it? It's something that you've got to work really hard to cancel out. James, good morning, mate. Thanks for joining in again, as you did last night. Yes, look, we do ask for forgiveness rather than permission. So, thank you, Nessie.
Might ask Anthony just to stand back a little bit from where he is. I just feel that he's.
A little bit too close to the playing area.
Yeah, I do. Think he is there, or
Your card, mate. Your rules.
there's a little opportunity now for Anthony to come in and just get that arm going for one. I think he only has to bring this one out off the rail here. Okay, nice shot there from Shaun.
I think you can just chip it out and leave Clint nothing.
Yeah, I'll be just getting this one here. He knows enough of the game just to put it in the open. Doesn't need a snooker. Just roll it out, get it on.
Which he tried to do.
Tried to do.
But I think he went more for a snooker than just getting it into play. But look, should be potable where it is. It just means that you've got to land perfectly for it.
This is quite regulation. Let the arm go through. This is when you see whether you're really tight or not. If you can just get it through off the two rails. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, he got right into that.
He did. I was definitely thinking that he would be playing the shot, making sure he doesn't snooker himself.
One thing I've shown Anthony is just these little clip-off balls and being able to play the little touch snooker sort of shots here. We've worked on his touch on being able to play snookers.
Mhm.
So this is going to be interesting.
Shaun takes first frame.
And this is what we do. Okay. Now,
Okay, that was an interesting shot.
well, it wasn't what we wanted. We probably just wanted to bounce it out.
A little bit of screw back here for Clint. Wants to try and nudge into the red, but he's just passing now. Just thinking himself. Thank Alicia for refereeing again today. did a great job last night. And Pete Colwell, who's put his hand up to referee table 1. Shaun to break, leading 1-0. Anthony's got a really good opportunity here to
Just let the arm go a little.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's all right. Pot to nothing.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
And
pot to
just a few of those, just get rid of that early tension.
Yeah. Would have liked a little bit of a better result where the red would have finished up, but I don't think it's too much of an issue.
His whole family here, mate. They're
Big support crew.
there are 3 daughters, two over there, 2 young ones, and then the little one here. 3 daughters, his mum, his wife, and his mother-in-law. Isn't that
Brilliant.
wonderful?
That's brilliant. Good on him.
Okay, and now this is good for, say, Anthony here to sort of to see he's got a bit of freedom here with the dead yellow.
Yeah. I think you're probably looking to chip your red off the rail and possibly nudge the black a little bit into a better position and be able to get a snooker, considering where the red's blocking the yellow now.
So he might just go to okay. Maybe a little bit quick.
Yep.
And we've worked on that as well
Mm-hmm.
about slowing it down and not just jumping in.
Definitely played the right shot, I believe. It just probably could have got a little bit better with the 8 ball. Oh. First frame and quite a bit of emotion already in the first frame from Clint. Definitely doesn't want that to get to his. I think Anthony should be going the other ball first. Could be using that ball to transition up to the top of the table.
Look, he can pot very well when he's feeling all right. He's a good potter. But
This is in. This is in. I thought he was going the bottom left corner, but we
and
get these things wrong.
You know what? He's landed nice, and this is just a very, very anxious frame.
Oh,
And this is what we thought it might be, or I thought it'd be.
First frame and last frame are always the hardest to win. Opportunity to close these out.
Nice pot.
Could leave himself low on the rail here if he chooses to try and work into the 8 ball, but he's trying to just push through it, give himself a bit of angle.
He's
Second last red.
He's breathing. He's up for it.
Doesn't want to leave himself straight, which he hasn't, which is good. He can have
And
a
I
bit of
think-
angle.
I think when you get on this black, if you can get right on the rail, you can sort of play it through and sort of have a bit of safety in mind as well.
Yep. Just doing that.
Got to get on the rail. I'll tell you what.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. I don't know how many shots, similar to this or that last night that were just.
Just rattling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
Nice.
first use of the table today, so hopefully
Nice first tester.
hit it well.
Yes.
Beautiful.
What are you seeing so far in these 2 boys?
I think a bit of a shaky start from both players. Both of them probably not executing the way that they probably wanted to begin with. But as you said, they're first money matches. So obviously nerves. You did mention before we started that both of them can be quite emotional. They both have their sort of little technical flaws in their matches, which is in their techniques, which I think will create opportunities for both players. So it's just, I don't think either player sort of looked like they were in control of that frame at all. But no doubt after, a bit like yesterday, after about 3 or 4 frames, they'll settle in and know where they are and how they're playing. And
Jay, just for the people out there with the rule set, Anthony's just broken and come What happens then?
We've got cue ball in hand anywhere on the table.
Okay.
Unlike going in off, the cue ball going in off where it would be ball in hand from balk. This is ball in hand, and this is just ball in hand.
So it's quite a big advantage.
Absolutely. I believe the ball in hand is probably a more advantage than having 2 visits.
Okay.
Being able to play the ball from wherever you want to, being able to put the cue ball in a position to maybe get a dead ball out or be able to pot the dead ball, rather than having to play the ball from where it lies with 2 visits, or having ball in hand just from the balk area. The ball in hand anywhere on the table can, I mean, more often than not, you generally have 1, maybe 2 dead balls off a break, and being able to get rid of that dead ball, having ball in hand anywhere on the table, getting rid of that dead ball and being able to pot it first up, it really opens up the table.
Yeah, because usually there's only 1 or 2 balls, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, generally.
Generally is.
Sometimes there's 4 or 5, but probably not on quick, newer felted tables, and you probably don't have those clusters.
No. Like Clint had a good opportunity there with ball in hand to pot a ball and get that dead red out, which he probably tried to do, just probably didn't hit it firm enough.
If I'm Anthony, because I'm a big believer of eliminating your opponent's balls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big believer, so I'm going to take the yellow for the corner, and
Yep.
I'm purposely going to try and knock his red in because I want to eliminate balls, and then I can sort of play more a tactical sort of frame, and I can.
You got soldiers in battle.
Well, I can chip balls away that are bad and get
Mm-hmm.
snookers and get him into good play.
Yep.
And he's only got 2 left.
Yep. Just probably didn't want to, probably is the shot, but probably wouldn't want to have potted the yellow, considering where the layout of the other is. Oh, he's nearly gone off. Yeah, no. Anthony's last shot, he tried to play a little bit safe, but he actually nudged his yellow and put that red on that's in that cluster. So Clint's probably in the better set at the moment.
Got to look over on this other side as well on what's going on over there.
I think Chris is in a bit of trouble here. Shaun's got a nice bit of angle to knock this in the centre and run through a few inches to make sure he's on the low side of the yellow in the centre.
And Anthony's was quite fortunate there.
It's probably could have played that a bit better. He's just run through that. Probably needed to sort of stun run just to come out a little bit towards the left centre.
Okay, Anthony's got the ball in hand there. Okay, this is another situation where I don't mind even sinking his ball, and I like to eliminate and get snookers.
Shaun's played a pretty good shot there, but just got caught by the pace of the table. I'm almost pretty much what Anthony's doing right now. I probably wouldn't pot this. I'd probably chip it out,
Okay.
get it out in the open, and then snooker in the cluster,
Yeah. But my thing is,
which he has done.
which is a nice
Fine.
shot. But my thing is, right, this is a worrying yellow up the top of the table near the ball line, and
I don't think it's much of a problem.
Not
He's going to
now,
get ball in
but
hand.
going to-
Well, I think that yellow actually passes the red.
nice shot by Chris.
Really good escape. No, that yellow definitely passes the red in the bottom corner.
This is something we've worked on, me and Anthony, about not having ball in hand and not having to go out.
Yep.
And just chipping balls out, getting him into play, and doing it 3 shots later. Even if you've got to chip 2 more balls out, and all of a sudden he's had a lot of. Wait up, maybe going to go here. No. I think he has a bit of a game plan here, Anthony, is just to chip him out, maybe not go for him as much.
Mhm.
Look, he's
Working to
gonna-
his strength,
Yeah.
rather than not getting caught on the occasion of trying to pot to win. It's a good shot. He can play a combination here to the top left corner.
What I would have liked to have seen, obviously, now that I do think these balls up here are going to cause some problems later on, is definitely to eliminate these ones up here.
I think I'm okay with clearing out the top of the table now. He obviously needs to pop this one in the top left corner and just make sure he sort of lands level with the yellow from the top rail, just a natural angle, be able to just come down the bottom of the table. No, I would be potting it clean and screwing back to the side of the table, towards the right top corner. Just leave himself a bit of angle. It definitely passes. It's on. If I was to leave one of those two yellows up there, yeah, if I was to leave one of those two yellows up there, I would have left the one over the bag. You've got to land yourself in a better area of the table for that last yellow, which I think is on the wrong side of this yellow. Yeah. 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 He's got to get the gap between the red and the 8 ball. Yeah. Looks like it's just probably could just stun this in. Probably can just cue this.
Okay, what have we got going on here? We got Shaun
On yellow.
On yellow. Yep. Okay. Now he doesn't need to run through too far or anything. Okay. Now that was the issue with that was that we've talked about it. You've got to go around and look where you got to land.
I think he did look. He's just not executed really well.
Executing.
Yeah. Now that ball has become a bother. What are you doing here on the? You got ball in hand here, red. Are you leaving yourself the double, or are you trying to get the black into a better position with the shot?
There's nothing wrong with going the double, because you could have landed absolutely perfect on the double.
Yep.
And then you can play the double with a shot to nothing as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Good finish.
Yeah.
Just levels it off. So
this will see how the arms. This will see how the arms go on for Clint.
He just needs to hit this nice and firm middle ball. Probably needs to drop his hand a little bit. He's queuing a bit high, which can cause, if you're not hitting the ball perfectly, can cause a little bit of throw.
Here, if your touch is good, I can just bounce that out just a fraction and get the snooky. There is a bit of emotion in Clint.
Yes, there is.
Kick to the side, like I said, there'll be a lot of body length.
Are you taking a long cut on here just to leave the cue ball safe?
Again, I back my touch sometimes here for snookers.
I'm not liking where the cue ball is. I'm not liking.
I'm just clipping off the left hand side of the yellow, doing a little one like this, and I'm doing something like that. But I'm trying to get it out a little bit more so that later on the time.
That's my issue is because Clint gets it out.
Now you can clip off.
Yeah.
I know, but if you... So now what Anthony needs to do is really think about this, because you clip off here and then you need to get a snooker behind the black, or you can take a double on or whatever you want to do, but you've got to have a plan for once you've played that shot for later on.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to get this in the open. Nothing wrong with what he's doing. It's a shot to nothing, isn't it, really?
Are you chipping it off and trying to get a snooker behind the 8 ball?
He's just going to play.
I'm probably chipping off that and trying to leave the.
So he's had ball in hand, but he's giving himself a double.
Yeah, just hasn't lined it up correctly.
There's nerve, there's
Mhm.
annoyance in ourselves.
Yep.
And I think it's who can settle first in this game. What do you think?
Well, I think we haven't seen any real emotion from Anthony yet. Clint has shown quite a lot already, and we're only into the second frame. Clever shot, real clever shot, really clever shot. I think Anthony missed a couple of tricks there, being able to set his ball up to be potable.
These frames, if you're playing in them and you have these opportunities, annoying when you lose these frames. They hurt your confidence a little, don't they?
Especially
when you've had good opportunities with ball in hand,
Yep.
good opportunities to win frames.
But when you've been when the frame's gone for quite a while, you feel like you've invested a lot into it, and to not get the result from it can be a little bit demoralising to the morale.
This will be interesting here.
Just just needs to not screw up, just needs to pot it, just clip the edge of it, come back up the table. Just doesn't want any skid off the rail, which he's got. He's a perfect shot. Great shot. Great shot.
But it's going to be a little bit of an annoying one for Anthony, and it's how he deals with that moving forward to the next frame. Because you let that bother you,
Yeah.
it's going to hurt you.
I feel like he definitely had opportunities.
Shaun looks to be queuing a nice one.
Shaun's a really good cueist. Really good cueist. Nice and smooth. His action doesn't change no matter what shot he's playing. He'll take his time. Really shows emotion as well. So he's got a really good temperament to Shaun. Just execution lets him down on occasions, and possibly ball selection.
Now, there's another one of those ones where the sound of the jaw, how hard the jaws are playing, and through my experience, that they play tougher than the Q Masters.
They definitely don't take as well as what the Q Masters ones do. I tend to agree.
100% agree.
Look,
Yeah.
I know that we had Dickie on last night commentating, and he tends to think they play similar or same. I can't. I have to disagree with Dickie on that one.
Yeah.
I've played here a couple of times. I've played at Q Masters a few times, and each time I've found that I don't believe the tables are the same at all. I believe these are definitely play nice. Definitely balls do go, but you have to be a little bit more precise on these tables than what you do at Q Masters. Again, we've got a really good support crew here for Anthony. Nice shot by Clint. Come across the table nice. He's got a nice bit of angle to come off top rail here and just make sure he just maybe you just got to roll this in with a touch of little bit of right hand side just to make sure that you're passing the yellow part.
I actually play this off 4 rails. I play it off 4 rails because I can thread it.
We're not all Brent Reeds.
No, but it was quite natural though.
But we're not playing on a 6-foot table anymore as well. Clint's,
Mate, what I've noticed in Clint, he just likes the pop balls.
yeah, he just wants to get going, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just wants to get going. He feels like he gives himself the best opportunity by being at the table and knocking balls in and giving himself the chance. Shaun with a huge support crew here. At least 12 people from the Sunshine Coast and family as well come to support him.
Speaks volumes of the person he is, really.
Absolutely.
When you got a lot of support crew, it's just you're well liked, don't you?
Absolutely, and I think that's sort of the you want to say brotherhood, but it's sort of the uniting thing that Smashers have is they support each other no matter what or where they are. You'll always have a handful of guys coming down to support them.
They're all brothers.
Yeah.
I think you've joined a great association, Jay, of people that really care about each other.
I didn't really get a choice. I moved to the Sunshine Coast and it was the only one.
You probably picked the best one, even though I'm a Gold Coaster, right? Even though I'm a Gold Coaster, that was stiff that it hung in there.
That rattled, yeah.
Okay, this is a drill that Anthony's been playing just this morning. I've been watching him. Gets the 6 balls, hits them together with the black, and then pots out.
Yep.
And pretty much this is what. Okay, he's going to do that as well. And I'm okay with that. If you're not feeling.
Oh, I think he might be able to get a shot off the yellow here into the centre.
I'd like to see Anthony be a bit more careful on some of his executions.
Yep.
And just go around and have an extra look at where you're landing.
I think the 8 goes off the yellow, the left of the 8 into the centre.
Okay, he tried that. And here we go again. We've got chances.
4 balls wide out in the open. He definitely should be potting out from here.
Yeah. Yes.
If everything's in the open, he's just got to
See a
ABC it.
bit of movement there.
Yeah.
And just getting up quick.
Just needs to finish off his cue stroke.
possibly for another snooker. That's okay if you're not feeling it.
I wouldn't be giving up the table here, considering where the 8 ball is.
It wasn't boring. That's okay.
I'm taking that. I'm taking that ball on in the centre, and backing myself to put out there, because if he gets if let's say for instance he's got the snooker here, look where his yellow is. His yellow's pretty much top of the rail. Got to get yourself in a good position to get to it. So probably that shot obviously costs in the frame. So
Yeah. And there's the big boy. The big boy's here.
Toby, they all got bets on. That's why. So I don't know what you're referring to. I'm guessing you're referring to the support crew that's come down. I can assure you that the last 2 money matches I played with Reedy, I did have a couple of them with money on, but that were backing me, but the majority of them weren't. Shaun's done himself a bit of a mischief here. I think he found himself lucky to get back to the table, to be fair, considering he gave up a ball in hand.
Just coming off the edge of this and then getting the re-snooker back.
Just got to make sure he doesn't push.
Anthony's having a nice dig here. He's getting the arm flowing as well. So
A nice layout. Nice layout. He's got a good opportunity to just to thin cut this in and knock this red, just nudge it off the rail.
no, he's just going to take the other one.
He's going to take it. Okay. But look, that goes in there. He's out.
He is out, but this is where if I'm Clint, I'm big on the elimination of balls. I know you don't like it. I love to eliminate balls for some reason. Maybe I need to look at my game a bit more.
But
Because I like to be
I'm looking at the.
eliminating balls
I'm
and
looking at
snooker.
the. Yeah, I see. I don't know where you get the snooker here by eliminating that ball.
Well, I get the snooker. Well, I do the turnover shot,
Yeah.
and then I come down the bottom of the table, and I get the snooker. And then I've got no trouble balls
Mhm.
because I've put my ball onto his. He's got 2 left again.
Yeah. I think it's a risky shot to try and pick a gap, because you're talking about cutting that yellow onto the red, sort of eliminating that pocket and then running the cue ball up to the top of the
Well,
table.
here we go. Here's a bit of a something.
I think he's got to take the one in the corner pocket right now. I think landing on the 8 ball, running the red into the centre pocket is going to be a lot easier than trying to land on it off the one in the corner pocket.
I like what you just said for sure. I think this could happen. Anything could happen here.
The jaw comes into play here. You've got to get the weight right, and you've got to make sure you pick one of those gaps. And I think leaving yourself, he's got himself lucky there. So
And sometimes you need a bit of that.
you do, but I think the going back and looking at this, I think Anthony needs to see that it's much easier just to use the pace of the ball, leaving himself on that centre pocket and being able to just roll up against the side rail.
I just like to see him just take the time a little bit, and it's all a little bit rushed, but that's anxiety.
Well, you probably know him better than know his game better than any of us here. So, so you probably know, as we're talking about, sort of little technical flaws and his little triggers that possibly would and wouldn't work for him.
What's that? 2-1, Anthony? Is it?
It's 2 all.
2, is it?
Yep.
Okay. 2-1 to Chris.
Yeah. Again, I don't think there's anyone who's sort of standing out at the
I
moment.
didn't let you know, but because I forgot. I think it's too late anyway because it's already started.
Oh. Good world rule shot. Good world rule shot.
Used to be a good shot.
You're chipping your yellow. If I'm Clint here, I'm chipping my yellow off the top rail and running the cue ball into the red. Okay. This is okay with me eliminating a ball here because the frame isn't open. You've got a cluster. Oh, it was an open table. Okay. Yeah.
So you got any water, Dale? You got a water?
I do not. No.
You got water for Jay?
I've only got that one, but I can go and get that.
Clint's got a little bit unlucky there. Just knocked his ball in the top corner as well as the one that was in the cluster, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. He's cutting this in the bottom right corner instead of probably going to the left corner. They've definitely taken that one into the bottom left, myself.
Nice shot by Chris.
Just had a great shot here. Just
Great
needs to
shot, yeah.
stun this in.
Just stun it in and just find that gap.
Just got to drift down in between those two yellows he's closest to. Which he has done perfectly fine. Just needs to... Just a bit of a stun run through here. Just got to come off the top rail and make sure it just comes out sort of to the left side a little bit. Bit of a throw of the shoulder there.
That's what I said.
Elbow.
There should be a bit of ready
by
involved.
Clint. Nice out there from Chris. And a rule of missed opportunity in the frame before from Shaun. I think the big thing for players sort of in the lower levels who are taking on these money matches, they've got to understand that you can't win it all in one frame. I think a lot of the time these guys that show a lot of emotion and really get down on themselves when they play a bad shot, is I think it's all over from that one shot and they get quite annoyed. Mistakes are made. You know, all the professionals make mistakes, and once they understand that these mistakes are made quite frequently, and they can move on quite quickly from it.
Look, I agree with you. I think the thing that where someone will capitalise in this match is play the chip outs and the safety style after the 2 or 3 misses each frame. The person that plays the ball, getting the balls on, getting the bad ones out, and be ahead of the ball count.
Yep.
So that they might have 3 on the rail, you're chipping them out. All of a sudden you've got 1.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you don't have to get it off later. He's still got 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the guy that's going to win that plays the smarter after the misses.
Yep. Well, I agree. Couldn't agree more.
It seems that way. There's going to be some misses in here.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you deal with the chipping out.
Yep.
And getting the balls into play is the person who will win this match.
Yep.
From what I've seen so far. Would you agree with that?
Yep. Yep. I reckon you're hitting the nail on the head there, man. Shaun had a pretty good layout there and just didn't get positioned, didn't execute the shot before well enough. I think Anthony's potting dead here.
Yeah.
He's eliminating balls and he's...
Well, that's where we've got to pull up. You've got to be able to pull up. And that's what these players of the intermediate or just above novice, they just keep putting balls.
Yep. I mean, the
And there's no value in continually putting balls. So he needed to pull up.
Not very soft. You're very soft. Move the chair closer to me.
No, I'm okay.
no,
You're not on that.
I'm not on that. I'm on this.
we're on this.
We're on this, are we? Yeah, we're sweet. Yeah, I think they're both just putting balls for fun.
I think potting balls is a confident thing. You're not giving up the table, and you've really got to weigh up the percentages of what's my likelihood of potting out here. I mean, if he keeps potting and he leaves that dead ball till last, A, how's he potting it, and B, how's he getting on the 8 ball?
but I'd like to see more thought of when you are getting that out, not just hitting it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And having more placement, not just, okay, I've got to get it out. Think about what you're doing. And then we're saying with Clint there, think about what you're doing there, because you've just left Anthony the shot. You've got your ball out, but you haven't cared where your wide is.
Yeah. I think the same thing here is happening with Shaun here. Chris has got the pocket covered. I don't think that 8-ball passes it, and Shaun's potting to pretty much nowhere.
Yeah, for a double, mate. You know what? I thought Shaun cued that really well, and it didn't take.
Yep.
They're not taking those kind. You have to be spot on. It's, the more I see it, I'm thinking, wow. Anthony had a nice chance in that last one where he left him with 2 yellows, and he thought about clipping off that when he had a free shot at his
Yep.
ball. So you can get 2 into the safety play, be 2 negative.
Yep.
Shaun.
Clint's just getting in position and just potting balls here that seem like there's too much thought process. Are you potting this yellow in the centre here and nudging it going up the top and possibly nudging the 8-ball off and leaving a yellow in the centre?
It's not bad. It's not bad. Sometimes I struggle.
Chance of snookering yourself?
No. Look, it's not bad. I sometimes back myself to just roll it in and have the touch to hold.
Mm-hmm.
But you can obviously use the top rail.
Doesn't want a Chinese,
Well,
which he hasn't.
You know what? He could have even hit it a little bit slower, and that's why I thought he could hold.
Yep.
You just roll it in dead weight, and then you get the right angle. Now he's got to get right into it. You've got to deep screw it off the side rail.
I think you take your medicine here and just roll it in and just take the cut. Which he has done.
Well said. Yeah. I think with these pockets, how big they are, I'll probably deep screw it.
Yeah.
I feel confident to just let it go.
Looking at where that cue ball went, it looked like it was too straight to screw back.
No deep screw to the side, no? And back over. Deep screw into the side.
Well, I'm looking at where the cue ball ended up, and it looked like it was straight. It looked like it was too straight to be able to deep screw off the side rail.
All right.
I know that you could possibly cheat a bit of the pocket, but I still don't think there was enough of it. Could be wrong.
Yeah, that'll be 1-0 to me.
He just needs to drop his hand a bit. He plays with such a high hand. Just needs to kiss for what does. The one thing that I think Clint needs to go back to when he's practicing and just getting the technique right, when he's cueing on the rail, he still cues with a high hand. Like he probably could get his cue a little bit lower, his tip lower to his shaft lower to the table, especially when because he's cueing up on a ball, and we both know that can, if you're not cueing spot on, that little bit of throw can swerve a ball off its path. So if he comes back and watches this, I think a key for him is trying to get his cue lower to the table. His bridge hand is very elevated on the rail, which means the shaft of his cue is very high, and he's hitting down on that ball.
And if you're hitting down, what would that do? Like, if you're high with the bridge, what does that do?
Well, you're putting the momentum of the cue into the table rather than through the ball. You obviously are more than likely going to be putting stun on the ball rather than running through. So
And
you're
what
probably
he-
not getting as much top spin as what you'd expected.
So he's elevated,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't have the cue and what is it, parallel.
Yeah.
You're going to put a bit of unintentional side and stuff on
If
it.
you're not hitting the ball dead plumb in the centre, I'm just going off there. If you're not hitting the ball, if you're not cueing straight and hitting centre of the ball, you're going to end up putting a little bit of swerve on that ball, and it's going to throw it off its path.
That's very interesting. Thanks for that insight, Jay. That'll help a lot of the up and comers. And you were taught that,
Absolutely.
or you learnt that sort of through many years of playing,
I learned that through observing.
observing.
I wasn't someone who got coaching. I was someone who played a lot and just watched and learned. And I think that's been my biggest in anything that I've sort of played, any sport that I've played. I've learned by watching.
Just come back to that for a second. Here's Anthony again in this situation. This is Anthony in that situation where we've got a very tough out on the Reds.
Yep.
And we're going to keep potting. Okay, and then all of a sudden we need a McCartney shot here.
Yep.
Go back to what you were saying about.
I'm big from observing. I learn a lot, not by people telling me what to do or how to do it. I learn from observing and then putting it into practice. I've never had coaching playing pool. I'm self-taught, but learning the basics of making sure the tip is going through the ball and not through the table. When you're screwing, you want to get your hand as low as possible. Playing deep screw shots, you're playing top spin, you still want that cue to be going through the ball, not through at a different path or a different level, because while the tip is in contact with the cue ball for, we're talking like hundredths of a second. A lot of people think that the tip actually stays in contact with the cue ball for an extended period of time because the cue actually going through the ball, the tip stays in contact. That's not true. It actually immediately leaves the tip as soon as you make contact with the ball. So while people think that and you'll see a lot of players, they'll throw their elbow out to try and steer a ball to put extra spin on it. It does nothing because that we're talking, as I said, hundredths of a second that the tip is actually in contact with the cue ball. So it actually bounces off. So there is no. Oh, that's going to be a tough call. Thought foul. It could have been. I think it could have been.
Can I have a replay of that anyway, please?
Well, we've got the stream.
There's no way in the world, in my opinion, it was a foul, but it's all done. Here it is. Watch this. Watch this. There you go. Red first. Go back. Go back. Look at that. Watch this again. Ready? Red first. Ready? There you go.
I don't know.
Okay.
That might have been. Considering how far the 8 ball moved, you could possibly say it hit the red first and then the momentum pushed into the 8 ball.
I think it's just thin the red and then gone.
Yep, that's fine. Called as seen. You back your referee.
Red first.
That's all right. Back your referee. Back your referee. Back your referee. That's fine. Going back to what I was saying. So you're going to make sure that you're making your delivery of the tip into the right part of the ball. So if you're elevating up, you're playing into the ball, you're more than likely to put a little bit of swerve or something on it. So because you got that 1/100th of a second where that tip's making contact with the ball. There's nothing else that you can do after you've made contact with the ball that's going to change the path or anything of the cue ball.
So moving on further from that, Jay, you're from the best breeding crowd in the country, in my opinion, at least in the last 10 years, because prior to 10 years ago.
You need to sit closer.
Yeah. So obviously in the last 10 years anyway, but prior to the last 10 years, SA, I believe, was the most dominant country for
Yep.
but in the last 10, it's definitely been Victoria. Would you say it's important to get coaching? Or not really?
Well, I'll be. I think it would be. I think it absolutely would be beneficial. Follow through. I think a lot of it comes down to where you want to go with your game, how much you want to be part of the sport. How serious you are about it. I think coaching at any level. I mean, we go to school, people go to university, people get degrees, all that sort of stuff. They upskill, and you don't just gather that from being born with it. Having someone to teach you and give you the tricks and the tools. Reedy's just run off on me, but I'll keep talking. Giving yourself the tools to develop and to get the technique right, learn the tricks of the trade and all that sort of thing, I think is invaluable. Having someone give you reasons as to why to do things, I think that's really beneficial to becoming a better player. I don't think there's.
Sure.
Now,
So I've missed that. Someone's broken out of time.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, look, it's
So there's a bit of confusion out there at the moment.
look. At the end of the day, obviously the players should know this, but ultimately it's the referee's job to call who's breaking. Should you have a qualified referee, which we're not using, we're using volunteers to come in and do it for us, which we're really appreciative of. So at the end of the day, it's definitely up to the players to make sure they know that it's their break.
Maybe you could say to Anthony, where's the value on the shot?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
And just say, you need to get it out of there, but you get it on,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and then you're a shot ahead.
Yep.
This is why I say it's very important between these two.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to win the ball count?
Yep. Yep.
He's tried for a snooke and now it's left.
Left a kick shot. Left a kick shot. A one-rail kick shot.
Yeah, for sure.
And a big target as well. Big target can play into it, can come off the bottom rail into it. He's got a big margin of error here. It's not like it's sort of where the yellow was, you'd be a little bit. He's played that really well. Oh.
Switched. Just watching he's like on the dominant play. You can see it in his mind. He says, I'm just going to let my arm go.
Yep.
I feel I'm starting to get on top. And I'm just going to pop balls and just show you confidence. It's how it works sometimes.
Yep. Well, he feels like he's in front, and
And I'm just going to just
yep. And I'm going to stay in
balls
front.
because
Yep.
you're not potting out on me.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Now sort of like free flowing a little bit.
Yep. Just got himself to a nice handy lead, a 5-1 lead. Yep. Definitely not without opportunities for Shaun. Heard in the interview that he's behind in his win-loss ratio when it comes to money matches. And I do remember watching his match against Alvo, which I'm pretty sure his last one was. I'm pretty sure he won the first frame in that one, and then it went downhill from there for Shaun. Found himself really far behind, and I'm seeing a bit of a repeat at the moment. Shaun's got the tools, he's got the technique, and he's got all that for him. He's just got to execute, and just make sure he's playing his percentages.
Shaun said that he's a better player for his losses.
Mm-hmm.
He's just sort of controlling this game at the moment.
Yep.
Saying, okay, you're not sort of doing
Mm-hmm.
this game. I'm just going to get my balls out of the pockets. I'm just going to go from ball to ball.
Yep.
That's his theory.
Well, he's constantly getting opportunities. So I mean,
And if you're not going to punish him by just going from ball to ball, because if you try and go from ball to ball against an elite player, it's not going to work for you.
Yep.
You need to have strategy. Well, Anthony's just going, well, you're not punishing me. I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm just keep going to go in doubles. I'll go try and go out from anywhere because it doesn't matter.
yep. I'm going to get back.
I'm going to get back.
Yep. He knows he's going to get opportunity. Which this is going to be a tough one here for Anthony.
I just think he's just going to roll it in and take it long and just give himself every opportunity because that's what he's doing at the moment.
I'm actually surprised he didn't pot it and trying to smash into it. He's feeling that flow at the moment, just to give himself that sort of opportunity.
This will see where we are in the match here.
Mm-hmm. It's come off the yellow.
And you know what? I really love that shot in these rules.
Having the 8 ball in front.
in front of yellows and stuff. I really like that shot in these rules. It's so much better than the 2-shot rules here because the 2-shot rule, right, is you can get the snooker now.
I'm tend to lean the other way.
Okay.
I'm putting a while he can obviously open the pocket up with where the position he is. You're in a situation here where you're forced to have a go at the 8 ball every time. In the old rules, you could keep purposely fouling. In these rules, you have to show that you're having an opportunity or having a crack at it. So Clint can be putting balls up against the 8 ball, but still leaving a path to it. There's a big opportunity because Anthony has to make sure he is having he's having a crack at it. That there's a big opportunity that Anthony can foul by hitting a yellow and knocking the back in. So I believe these rules is almost if my opponent's got the 8 ball over the bag, I'm sending balls down there and I'm forcing him to knock the 8 ball in because he has to show that he's making an
Let's
attempt.
go off the cushion first. Well, in my opinion, it's a wonderful shot for the level of players.
Yep. Yep. And the situation here is it's getting tougher for Clint, but I'm sending yellows down to this corner down here and snookering, and I'm getting my balls in a position that's covering the black, but also forcing him to not be able to hit the black but obviously leaving a big enough access to it that there is a possibility of and it not being a stalemate. Because of the rules stating that you have to make an attempt, Anthony has to have a go at hitting the 8 ball, and with the yellows around it, you pretty much force him to foul and giving him a 1 in a million shot to hit the 8 ball, and more likely he's going to hit the yellow and knock the 8 ball in and foul. So while I understand what you're saying, I know that you can't knock in the situation at Clinton, you can't knock your yellow in and knock the 8 ball in as well. In the one shot to win, you're almost in a position of power having the 8 ball over the bag and having yellows around.
When are they having breaks?
Every 8 frames is cool. One more frame.
Alicia, just one more frame and then a break.
I believe I'm confident that if my opponent's left the 8 ball in or near the corner pocket, I'm confident I can still win the frame. If anything, I believe that my percentages of winning the frame are 80%.
So when you've got 3 balls around the black, and the black's right over the can, the player with the black over the pocket is going to win a better percentage of the games than the bloke that's on the ones that are around the black.
I don't believe.
Theory is you've still got to get those balls out. You've still got to get.
I wouldn't be getting them out.
Okay, and you might not have to get them out. And I think you've got to play for a stalemate.
I'm not playing for a stalemate. I'm playing for him to knock. I'm playing for him to foul and knock the 8 ball in.
Okay, now most players are going to utilise the rules with the grey area, and they're just going to come down and they're going to fall short. Okay, or they're going to be nowhere near leaving it so that you can put a yellow or a red into the other pocket. So when it's right around, so I'm saying you've got the black right over the pocket, you've got say 3 balls that are within 6-9 inches of the black, you are a far less chance winning on them balls compared to the black that's right over the pocket.
I am, as I said, I am putting my balls down pretty much on or just around the 8 ball. Okay. I'm making sure there's a path.
But how are you winning the frame is what I'm getting to. How are you winning the frame? Because you need to pot them balls eventually, and they haven't got pockets to go to if they're crowded on the black. Where are you potting your balls?
As I said, I don't need to pot my balls. My opponent is forced to have it and make contact with the 8 ball.
Well, he's going to try to, but because of the grey area of these rules, he will.
The grey area only exists for the maybe 1, maybe 2 attempts, but after it, it's going to show that they're purposely not attempting to make contact with the ball. You can sit there and say that I'm having an attempt, but if you're playing the same shot 2 or 3 times and you're still landing 8 inches short, or you're hitting the rail a foot or so too high up, if you're playing the same shot over and over again and getting nowhere near, then you will be. I would be, as a referee, I would be saying that there would be a loss of frame for not having a proper attempt.
You and I are very, very experienced in watching the games and stuff, and nothing to do with abilities between you and I.
Yep.
I'd be interested in the elite players players as well, as the people with as much experience as you, is to say what is favourite. And I think that the majority, in my opinion, would say that if you've got a black right over the pocket, and you've got 2 or 3 balls right around it that haven't got pockets, the black is favourite.
Yep.
But not to you.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. I know myself personally. If my opponent's on the 8 ball and he's left it around the pocket, and I've got balls on the table.
Can we have some comments about that? Because Jay and I have got into a discussion about having a black over the pocket and having 3 balls around the pocket, close to it, within 6-9 inches of the black that's right over the pocket. Which balls are favourite? Is it the black, or is it the reds or yellows? Jay, I could be wrong. Jay, I could be wrong, but I think if they answer that, they'll come back and they'll say blacks.
Or Coke or something.
I'll have soft drink, please. Just Coke's fine.
Just a Coke.
Thank you.
Ryan, it's pretty. Can you read what
Yeah,
Ryan?
look, Ryan's just alluding to the fact that he believes that the players should be assisting in getting the balls out of the pocket for Alicia, which they aren't. They're leaving the referee to ref. So I know that in a lot of matches that I've played, more times than not, we're told to not touch the balls. So you leave the referee to handle the balls. The less they're handled by players who have moisture on their hands, the less chance the balls are to get dirty. I just be leaving that to the referee. So Ryan, I appreciate you with what you're saying, but I know that players, especially these guys here, I'm sure they're feeling a lot of pressure. I'm seeing them grab their towels a lot. That's a lot of moisture that's going on the balls, which makes the balls react differently. So I'm okay with letting the referee handle the balls. They're more than likely going to have cleaner hands than the players who have got their hands on the cloth with chalk dust and all that sort of stuff. So I appreciate what you're saying, but I'm a big believer also. I'm one of the ones that will always help my opponent get the balls out of the pocket. If we've got a referee, then I'd be leaving it for the referee to do so.
And there's Anthony just letting that arm go again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just going, hey, look, you're not doing much to me here.
Yep.
I'm just going to just let this cue go and I'm just going to pop balls.
Yep.
Okay. I'm feeling good on 5-2-8.
Exactly. You did mention that before, so he's left it perfect here. Nice little opportunity to clear here.
You know what? He's starting to play with rhythm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, got himself a plan. So Losmi has responded to your question.
Okay.
He says if you surround the 8 ball, then there's a chance of a re-rack due to the player not able to hit the 8 ball.
Okay.
Although he does agree with me, it's the right tactic with the 8 ball over the pocket. The key of the situation, Losmi, which I'm alerting to, is always making sure that your opponent, there is a pathway to the 8 ball, but obviously making that path almost impossible, but within the rules. Within the rules, as long as there's a path to it, I'm leaving them. I'm making sure that they have to take that opportunity to make contact with the 8 ball, but more than likely they will be fouling and knocking the 8 ball into the bag.
Can you explain to any of the viewers about the rule of whether it's a re-rack or not? Because I think people are saying if you've got to put massey on the ball and stuff, it's not, and
no,
it's any path, isn't it?
Yep.
Even if you've got to use jaws.
Yep.
To get out of your snooker, even though you can't hit it, and even the elite players are a millionth of a chance of hitting the ball. If there is some kind of jaw or some kind of escape, it's not a re-rack.
Correct. Correct. Whether you've got to manipulate the path of the ball by playing swerve or using a jaw or something like that, unless there is absolutely no way that the cue ball can escape the immediate area of where it's snookered, or whether the object ball that you're aiming for is completely covered to a point where there's no access to it, it's not a stalemate.
I've heard a lot of people say, yeah, but the C grade player or the B grade, he's got no chance of getting out. It's got to be re-rack.
There's a lot of situations for the elite players that wouldn't be able to do it, wouldn't be able to escape from it either. That it should be a re-rack, but the rules state, oh, look at this. What a shot. What a shot. Look, the players will be going for a break as well, so both tables are on a break. It's the same situation for the elite players. There are going to be some situations where it's a 1 in an absolute billion shot to be able to play it, but the rules state that you have to make an attempt if the cue ball isn't fully barraged or the object ball isn't fully barraged. Yep, thank you, Ron. No problems, mate.
It came up on Thursday night, Paul, because everyone's new to all these rules.
Yep.
You know them better than most. And they were saying, well, there's no real path here. There's balls in the way, but I can see a touch of jaw.
Yep.
I can't really even get out of the jaw, but there is a little bit of a path that's going nowhere, but it's a path.
I think I'm sure that a lot of the pool community would have seen Kurt Dunham's escape. Table 3 at pockets. Now a lot of people would have alerted to that to say, well, there's no path. I mean, what has he got to do to make contact with that ball? You know, it's basically a stalemate because he's got to come off how many different rails and jaws and that sort of stuff to do it. But he showed that with creativity, there is a possibility to make contact with minimum, like to make contact with the ball, which is the minimum thing you need to do. It doesn't say that you have to play a legal shot. It doesn't say that you have to hit your ball and hit a rail. The rules state that you have to make contact and make an attempt to make contact with your ball. And if that's just touching your ball and nothing hits a rail, that's a legitimate attempt, and it's just a foul, foul ball in hand for your opponent. It's not saying that you have to hit it with enough force to make contact with your ball and hit a rail. Those aren't in the rules. I think a lot of people mistake that in the rules. The rules just state you have to make an attempt, a legitimate shot at making contact with your ball. Whether there's a direct path or not, and you have to, as I said before, use rails, use swerve, use any sort of, if you have to come off 8 rails to make contact, to try and make contact with your ball, it's something that you have to do. You have to make an attempt. It advances the frame. It creates those clusters and things like that where your ball is snookered. It makes the player attempt to hit their ball and to open up the pack. So there's it's the rules are there to advance the frame and to keep it attacking, rather than purposely fouling and not make an attempt to make contact with your ball.
Just another rule I want to go over with you.
Yes.
Is a couple of rules we'll talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
While we're still watching
Shaun and Chris. Yeah.
Chris at the moment.
Yeah.
Another rule. I'm glad I've got you here.
Yes, mate.
To talk about these kind of rules, because a lot of the people don't realise some of these rules.
Cheers, Losme. Thank you, mate.
I'm playing in my local league, and there's no referee.
Yes.
And the ball's travelling, and I foul, and I'm doing the right thing in my opinion to just pick up the ball and give it to my opponent. Is there a
loss of frame? That's loss of frame. In the rules, that states loss of frame.
Or is it up to the discretion of?
No. In the rules, it states that the referee is to handle the ball. So when there's a foul, the referee calls the foul immediately. and then when the balls have come to rest, he will walk over and pick up the ball. The incoming player can request the referee to leave the ball where it is before the referee picks it up. If there's no referee present, the player who is fouled must leave the balls, and the incoming player is the player who grabs the ball.
So on a Thursday night when we play,
Yep.
we've shown leniency, okay, and I'll continue to show leniency myself.
Yep.
If the ball's come to a rest or it's not doing anything, and it's not a good habit to get into, okay, especially with you being a referee who knows, who's just told me the rules. But if a ball's not doing anything and it's going nowhere near another ball, I am not fouling or losing the frame against my opponent. Okay? Even though it's within the rules, I get that. I'm not doing it personally, okay? And I take a bit of a dim view of that.
Yep.
If it's not doing anything, it's going nowhere near balls, and you're just doing the respectful thing to pass it to your opponent. It's not a good habit to get into, mind you. Okay, so it's best off not touching it at all.
Yep.
But I'm not taking the frame. Unless the ball's travelling fast and it could interfere with other balls. Okay? And we know what and we're only talking rolling at snail's pace when they pick it up some of the time and pass it to you.
Yep.
I'm not taking the frame in A grade, and that's me personally, and it's only my opinion of it. And a lot of other people would go, hey, that's the frame, he's touched it. I think it's one of those rules that can...
I disagree. I strongly disagree.
Okay.
I think if you're going to have a rule set in place,
Yes.
I think the rule has to be enforced.
Okay.
You're basically setting up your opponent for failure in the future.
Yep.
You know, because my opponent in the past has done this before, that it's okay.
Right.
So they might think it's okay, and they might lose the frame for it. In a situation where they might have a referee or playing in something like a money match like this, you're pretty much saying no. You're pretty much saying to them, you know, the rule doesn't stand for me. I believe that is not the way it. If it's in the rules, I believe you've got to play by the rules, and I don't believe that anyone should be above the rules.
Yeah, I'm
And you're saying that you are.
Okay. I get your point of view. I get your point of view.
Yep.
And I'm not going to disagree with your point of view there because it is the rule. But I also think some rules that we've played with over the years, with the world rules, or something that are real finicky kind of rules, whether it might have been someone yelled out, righto, let's go, or just a coaching kind of rule where we just let that go, or we turn a blind eye to a certain thing, or someone touched the table in the past when it wasn't their shot, or they were fouled for two, or just something real finicky, or someone had chalk on the table. Just these kind of rules that really, in my opinion, don't change the outcome of the frame. They're not changing the outcome of the frame. Whether you picked up a chalk or you left a chalk on the table, and all of a sudden you're getting fouled for something that doesn't, for no reason, in my opinion. I get that you've got to, it's a rule set in place. But for me, passing your ball to your opponent, and it's me, and this is talking to you, and I agree with you as well, and I don't think you should touch the white. But if it is touched, for me, I'm not giving the frame if it's going at a snail's pace and it's doing nothing.
Again, I mean, you're looking at scenarios where if it's a timed match,
Yes.
you're cutting short the match time because the ball hasn't finished travelling.
Yep.
I understand what you're saying. The way the ball is, say we're looking at the table as it is right now, that Clint's playing on at the moment, and let's just say all the red balls are currently not in the bottom half of the table.
Yes.
You fouled, and the cue ball is travelling down the bottom end of the table and is probably going to rest down in the bottom end where the balk is. There's absolutely no chance at all that cue ball is going to make contact with the ball or change anything to do with the frame.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
The rules state that the ball cannot be touched while any balls are moving, and the player who is in control of the table who is fouled has to leave the balls as they come to rest, and the incoming player is the person who picks up the cue ball. Can leave the ball in the position that they want. That's completely up to the player's discretion. So they can leave the cue ball where it is. They can play from where it lies, or they can pick up ball in hand. You are denying that player that option by handling the ball before it's come to rest.
Okay.
So you are deliberately touching a ball on the table, which is a loss of frame.
All right. And there you have it, guys. Interesting for your points of view on things that we talk about. Back to the pool, and Anthony's he's lost a couple of frames in a row. Or maybe he's lost one.
Shaun's got a couple on the trot. Got himself back in.
My thing here is Anthony's got that one bad ball
Which he could get to right now. He could knock this in the centre and just nudge into it, push it closer towards the top corner.
Okay.
But he's playing low here, so he's playing a double.
Okay.
Okay, he's going to leave it last.
Well, I'm not. I'm chipping off this one now, and we do play different. We do play different.
You're running the cue ball to the top rail and trying to get snooker here? Yeah. Just chipping it out into play?
Chipping it into play. I know you're a creator, and I don't mind the creation, but I'm chipping out balls.
I think the creation was earlier on when he had so he's played a great shot. Left a bit of distance. Yeah, he's left it on. A hard cut, but
that's what I think is the percentage shot.
This is nearly an in-off cut.
Big frame in the scheme of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So going on what Jay said, yep, he's 100% right about what he's saying about the balls, and everyone's going to have an opinion, and some people are going to foul it, and I think you'll find some people won't foul it.
I think the issue is that it's written in the rules. The rules state that you can't do it, and it's a loss of frame if you do so. And I think we need to step away from. I'll read that in a second. I think we need to step away from the fact that the rules are relaxed here, and I'm not going to worry about this, and I'm not going to worry about that. Once there's so many different variants of what people are accepting and what others aren't, then rules clash. Oh, this. When I played in this league, they accepted it. It's no problem. Why am I a loss of frame on this occasion? Like, we play this variant of the rules. At the end of the day, if you're going to play international rules, you play international rules. There are some rules within the international rules which leave it to the event organisers or the association to choose how they want to play it, whether it's a 45-second shot clock, a 30-second shot clock, whether there's golden break. There's all these different opportunities that they can do, but if you're going to play international rules, they're the rules that state that if you touch a ball while it's moving, it's a loss of frame. So if you're going to choose to do that, you're saying I'm better than the rules, and I believe that shouldn't. I think if you're going to play a set of rules, you play by the set of rules. So that's my belief as a referee as well.
And I respect your belief. Okay, and that's why I thought I'd have a chat to you about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's interesting what people think in that situation. And I think, who is it? Lol, I can't read that. Lolin?
Losme. Look, I agree. And where's the line drawn? Like, why would it be good for one opponent but then not for the next opponent? I don't think it should be relaxed. The rule states that the incoming player, without a referee, or whether you say it's an official match or not, whether it's refereed or not, the opponent has the opportunity to play the ball from where it lies, unless the cue ball is actually touching another object ball.
Alicia, the score.
You're, as I said, you're denying your opponent the opportunity to play the ball from where it lies because you're touching the ball before it comes to rest, and also touching the ball, even if it comes to rest, you're denying your opponent that opportunity to play from where it lies, which is a legitimate option, should they want it. So, I think playing by the rules and the way the rules are set, I I think is only the right way. If everyone plays the one way, then nobody can get upset. Nobody can say, oh, you know, this and all that, and they did this and they did that. In our league, we do this, so it shouldn't apply here. I think if everyone sticks to the rules the way they are, then there's going to be nobody's going to get upset about it.
Nice cueing.
Yeah, set that very nicely.
The arms flowing now, and he pots really well.
He's got a big opportunity here to pot the higher of the red here and draw back into the yellow and the black just to open up.
Guys, I know we've talked a lot, and we haven't talked a lot of pool matches so far, but I think we're very lucky to have Jay in the commentary with us, who's a very experienced referee and knows the rules backwards. So it's a treat to have him here.
By all means, ask questions, guys. If you want to ask questions, I mean, it's sort of hard to commentate 3 hours of pool.
Nice shot, nice escape.
So feel free to ask your questions and get involved like you boys have. I say boys, but I'm looking at the profile pictures, so I'm guessing that's the case. So anyone who wants to ask questions, by all means, get involved. It's not a technicality. It's a rule. It's not like a technicality would be people reading into the rules incorrectly and saying, well, the rule isn't written correctly, so this is how I'm seeing it. The rule states that you're not to touch the ball at all, whether it's moving or whether it's stationary. If you're the person who's fouled, it states in the rules that you're not to touch it. So it's crap that it's a loss of frame. I agree, but there's no extra foul than a ball in hand compared to world rules where, you know, it being 2 visits from where it lies compared to 2 visits with ball in hand. There's no more severe penalty of a ball in hand than the next level is a loss of frames. So, you know, you take the rule as it is. If you want to take the risk and ignore the rule, then that's the onus is on you, and you're making your opponent decide whether he wants to enforce the rule or not, and that's unfair. Because you're basically saying to him, well, I'm expecting to get away with this, and I want you to play it my way. So I think if we all play by the rules, then there's going to be no issue. Thank you, Loz. We appreciate it. Good discussion. Really good discussion.
We'll move away from the rule set now, and we'll get back to some pool. Thank you, Jay.
No problems at all.
Clint's got to find something. He's having a lash, and sort of there's not a lot of thought being put into the shots at the moment. I'm watching over here and Shaun, and Shaun's pegged one back. He was 5-1 down, was he?
He was 6-1 down.
6-1 down.
Yep.
Okay, Anthony's just popped balls. We talked about that before. You may as well.
I think he's clued on pretty quickly that nobody's running racks. Nobody's taking all 7 balls and potting the 8 ball.
He must just hit balls in.
Yeah, he knows that he's going to be getting opportunities. So I mean, there's no urgency for him. He's got more chance of winning a frame when there's only a handful of balls on the table rather than when it's just straight after the break when the majority of the balls on the table.
If he just gets the black over the pocket here, and we're not saying at our level, right? Your favourite, but it seems here if he can just get this black, he's heavy favourite.
Yep, it looks potable. It's a big centre pocket for a double.
Oh, okay. I thought he might have been taking it for the.
Oh, he's gone the other double.
Okay. All right. Well, that's where the.
Oh, Shaun.
Shaun's got one more back. So.
Shaun is finding his mojo.
I told him to have some lollies.
I've got some good matches coming up at 1 o'clock. We've got who have we got, Nessie? And now left left Anthony a little slice at the
Yeah, ball, yeah. And he's got a free shot at this. There's no one off here, so
free shot at it, but,
Yep.
but wasn't a real thought out shot by Clint as well. He had a big area to land in.
yep. So coming up at 1:30, the 1:30 slot, Scott Torrens versus Sam Taylor, and Pete Colawai versus Tim Jenkins.
This is what we're sort of watching here. Okay, I just want to show you something here.
Yeah, it should be chipping off the rail, the ball on the bottom rail.
Well, he's got some coverage there, which is not too bad. That was more thought put into that shot.
Mm-hmm.
Chris wants to answer straight back and say, "Look, I'm still here, Shaun. You've come back at me, but I'm going to take these out."
We'll do the right thing and get through the sponsors. There's a lot of sponsors, so we'll get through them quickly. So apologies for not chatting around for too long. There's about 12 of them, and we appreciate all your support.
Where's your sponsor?
Just go through them like one and then talk a bit about them and then come back and do them later. And you don't have to do them all at once.
Oh, we'll try and get them all into each match, into each slot.
Jay Windross Beauty Care.
Where's my sponsor? Where's my sponsor? No, I no longer have a sponsor.
Jeez, he cues the ball well,
Yeah.
Chris. He cues the
Hitting them
ball
well.
really well.
Getting them up. Almost pulled that off. Did Anthony then? Yeah.
Yeah, cueing the ball lovely, Chris, at the moment.
So we'll get through these sponsors quickly. So Q Masters Pool, Vicky Christos unfortunately couldn't be there this weekend due to the Broncos having a prelim final at Suncorp. Anyone who's been at Q Masters knows that Q Masters is right next to Suncorp, so he's expecting a lot of general public in, and you know, with us and a crowd there, having two tables taken up by money matches, and it definitely wouldn't be good for business, and he definitely needs to take full opportunity of the situation that he's getting from the preliminary final. So we appreciate Christos and his decision, but we thank Tony at Norths for having us here at such short notice. So thank you as well to Tony at Norths.
I think Nessie said, look, we had just sorry to butt in there for a second.
No, please.
We had a situation where people had already booked their flights to come,
Yep.
and we couldn't really cancel the card.
Yep.
They'd booked accommodation, all sorts of stuff, and with people travelling, 2 weeks out, I couldn't change the dates.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I needed to move venues, okay, because I had other things on the Sunday, Friday. Yeah, we just had to move venues.
Yep. And Tony was more than happy to open up and accommodate. So thank you, Tony at Norths.
No, thank you, Tony.
I don't, because I can't set up equipment. 4 matches would have had to have cancelled. Blamed all on me.
Nessie's going to cop the blame on that
I'll
one.
cop it.
Chris did a nice out in that last frame.
Yeah, he did. It was very clean.
Answered straight back.
Yep.
And Anthony's just swinging the bat at it every time when he's in a snooker, and Clint's got to maybe start knocking him in.
He's got to get himself in a position where he can go. What Clint's got to do here is get a safety, but also give himself a starting ball, and by putting a ball over the rail instead of doing what he's just done here and
It's
killed
only
a
going to
ball.
be a matter of time with Anthony's going to have a whooshka at it after 5, 8, 10 attempts and knock it in.
Yep. Well, we've
get
seen.
it close, get it
I was going to say
close.
we've seen on a few occasions that he's had clear shots at it and no opportunities on it. So. Another sponsor, Woodman Q's. Thank you, Woody, for your support as always. Anyone who wants a queue or wants some alterations done, make sure you get in contact with Woody at Woodman Q's. Peter Smith Pool Tables. Pete makes a great table up here in Queensland. You see him around a lot. See his tables around a lot.
Tremendous guy.
And a really top quality guy. I was fortunate enough to go to Morocco to Worlds with him, and
World champion.
Really, yes, really nice guy. Wayne Stubbs with Stubbsy's custom-made timber Q cases. You've got one perfect, specifically designed to house your Qs and your bits and pieces and your accessories and stuff, and keeps everything safe. It's heavy, it's solid, it doesn't feel like it's going to break. You're happy to throw it on a plane and know that it's going to come back still and straight and in one piece. So
Just onto Clint here, he's pulled the trigger.
Yep.
And he realises
Kiss it.
that.
Oh,
Okay.
that's not bad. It was a good attempt. Good attempt.
But he's probably got to look at maybe even safe again here. But he's running out of obviously balls to get snookers and stuff. But this will be interesting.
So yeah, thank you, Stubbsy. Shot to nothing. Good shot.
Sort of, yeah.
Typhoon cues and accessories. Again, Neil's got a stock of cues and tables and accessories and chalks and bar accessories. He's got it all. So get in contact with Neil at Typhoon Cues and Accessories. PBC Injectables, Vicky Q, the magician with the needle, with the syringe.
Oh, she's good with the needles.
She'll plump you up, make you look 20 years younger. You would have noticed already on the interview this morning that he's looking much more plump in the face.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vicky. Mandy Stewart, Be Free Accounting and Bookkeeping, or Bookkeeping and Accounting. It's tax time. If you haven't done your tax yet, get in contact with Mandy. She'll sort your books out, sort your accounts out, and get your tax sorted. So get in contact with Mandy. Good time of the year. Precision Building, Darren Bampton, thank you again. Any building requirements, any extensions or any sort of building work, get in contact with Darren. Pete Corwai with Ace Plastering, Pete who's currently refereeing on table 1, get in contact with Pete for any plastering requirements. Absolutely sensational at what he does.
Unfortunately, I've listened to all those sponsors. Thanks, Jay. I was just watching Clint again there, and a little bit of emotion there. Mr. Fresh aired the black, and given Anthony a free frame.
Yep, and I think we've seen that a few times. It's Clint's break. Even, yeah, he won the lag. He broke first.
Yeah, maybe because
It hasn't swapped over.
Ended up breaking twice, remember?
Yeah, it doesn't swap. It stays as is.
Should be back to normal.
Your break. I think, and this is what you were saying. He's just throwing the arm at it, knowing he's going to get an opportunity towards the end of the frame, and just taking his chances.
This. I'd say on no less than 7 occasions, Anthony was in a snooker on the black, and maybe got out of it, or didn't get out of it, but nothing was done.
Yeah.
To win the frame after that, and you've got to win the frame, or you've got to. Your snooker's got to be better, and this is the learning process.
Yep.
Of going back, watching it, listen to the commentators, listen to yourself, on what you do in these situations. We understand that if it's a hard table, what do? Well, you need to get your balls on and in position so that you can pot them later.
I think you've also got to know your ability and your own percentages as to the percentages and the chances are of potting out. So obviously, as you said, these guys are novice intermediate level, and knowing your game, knowing your ability, it's actually a loss of frame.
What is?
That's a loss of frame because he's played the wrong ball.
Who did that? Anthony?
Anthony's played the wrong ball. It's actually a loss of frame.
Oh well.
Well, hang on. Sorry.
Jay, can you just say what happened there on Anthony's frame, please? Because obviously that hurts you in a situation, whether you're winning or losing, to lose a frame like that.
Yeah. Well, the situation is that Clint obviously potted a red after the break. So Clint, obviously after breaking, if you pot a ball, you keep your visit, but the table is still open, so you still have to pot a ball in your following shot to be on a group or a colour, as it's called, known as a group in international rules. Clint's potted a red, which means that he is on red, and the incoming player would be on yellow. The incoming player has actually played a red, whether it be accidentally not knowing what he's on or whether intentionally, but the rule states that playing the wrong ball is a loss of frame. So in this occasion, it's a loss of frame.
Even though it's accidental?
Accidental, or it's at the end of the day, you don't know what the player is thinking. You can only go by action.
It could have been a tactic, which we know it wasn't.
Yeah,
But we know it was an accident.
Yep.
But obviously, if you were shifty, you could pull out, wait up, I didn't know,
Yeah.
and all sorts.
Well,
So.
Anthony did explain to us that what he heard was that yellows were in play, but at the end of the day,
He's got to be onto it.
the referee's call is once the player is broken, the first ball is potted. The first ball potted will be called in play, so the first group, which on this occasion will be red ball potted, so it will be red balls in play, and then there's no call after that. So the incoming player doesn't actually get told what group they are on. They've got to be alert and know what's going on from the start, and listen to the first call. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but again, these are the rules.
It's definitely hurt the opponent.
Yeah.
And it will. Mm-hmm. But you can't let it nick you in the head now, because then you can capitulate.
Yeah.
You need to just forget about that. It's over.
Yep.
Luckily enough, he's developed the lead. It'd be horrible if it was against him.
Yeah, if it was
and he
8-9 down or something like that, and it put your opponent on the hill, then yeah, I can understand. But yeah,
rule's a rule.
It is. Unfortunately, it is a rule. Yeah. Might
Give you the sack. There's no music, so it could just pick up all the background noise. doing something, doing stuff. That's all.
Just change the score, Alicia.
Please.
Please.
Chris looked really good today. He's cued really well. He's definitely been the better player from what I've seen. Just trying to get James Buchanan to come and have a little chat. I've got Jay Windross here. It's just going to finish off this game, and he'll join me back here in the commentary in a second. Clint might have a little bit of momentum, but Anthony needs to get his head right after a couple of frames ago where the decision went against him and he lost the frame for hitting the wrong coloured ball. And he needs just to get his head right and get back into the match. And don't let it bother him. What's his name? Chris on the black for the win. Maybe he's got a real thin cut or a double. I think he's going to take the cut on. Anthony potting balls again. That's all I think Anthony needs to do is just pot balls like he has been because it's worked so far. I don't know what Chris is doing. I think he's doing a double back and it's come off there and he's got lucky and that's the match. Yeah, we'll get that done with congratulations to Chris Livingstone beating Shaun Lorenz today, 11 frames to 4. He was very impressive and good effort by Shaun. He's cued that lovely, Clint. He's got another one. He's cued. That's probably the best cued ball of the match. He's just got to work out a path how to get onto this one that's right next to the red. I know he can knock this into the top, but what is he going to do for the other yellow? So this will be interesting. Okay, he's gone that, but he doesn't have a shot unless he comes off the cushion with a bit of side and tries to backdoor it into the middle pocket. Okay, he's just gone that way, and he's given Anthony a bit of a look here. And Anthony, you'd think would take these balls. You don't look for a snooker. You attack this because they all link nicely. Okay. That's good. Jay just coming up here to join me in the commentary again.
That's probably the quickest match I've ever refed.
Okay, Anthony just a couple of rolls away from there. And needs to cue this confidently. I think he's nicked a little bit from what's happened, but it's understandable.
Yeah, that's fine. Good shot.
And
Great shot.
He's
Great
hit,
shot.
He's hit that enormous.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Good for his psyche. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. Great finish.
He needs to.
Great finish.
Nice. I like the way he's composed himself. I think he said to you, he said, look, but I said this and that. At the end of the day, he's taken the wrong set. He was told what set he was on. He's obviously hasn't concentrated well enough in the frame. And it's going to hurt. Because we've all done it. We've all taken
absolutely.
the wrong set. I don't know if I've taken the wrong set in these rules yet, but I've definitely taken the world rules. And usually it was just 2, you know?
Yep.
This one's very harsh. But it's to stop deliberate fouls.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a crap one to take. As I was saying before, it would normally be a foul, but because in the situation of the rules is you've got to make an attempt to play your on group, whether it was deliberate or not. Unfortunately, it's he purposely made contact, but great pot.
Lovely pot to get going, mate. He's put it behind him. You know, that was like we haven't seen them balls potted this weekend
Not
so
that
far.
clean. Not that clean. That clean.
He's feeling okay now.
Yes. He wants to be on this one on the left side. I think the white passes it.
He just got down on that and went, hey, it's in.
I'm going to have to, this is my tough one, just going to have to take
And
it
if I
on.
miss it, I might lose the frame.
Yep.
And we're talking about that with Clint. He hasn't capitalised on any of those things so far in this match where they've just been open tables.
Yes, correct.
So he's going to feel a little bit more freedom in his queuing. But he's still got to put the balls away, Anthony, if he wants to win the match. Because if
Yep.
you give too many chances, Clint will take them.
Yep.
Jay, on another subject,
Yes.
did you have to make some really tough calls in the pocket series over the times where you sort of, you know, people were on hills and you had to come in and say, hey, look, you've lost the frame here? Or was there any time over your pockets experience that you had to sort of go, look, mate, I understand, but look, there's nothing we can do here. You know, it's a loss of frame. Was there anyone that you could
Not-
remember where you affected the outcome?
Not as a referee, no.
What about as an
Not
adjudicator?
when we had a referee.
Great
but
shot.
the look,
Lovely
the,
shot
the-
there by Anthony.
yeah, very well controlled. Got himself a nice bit of angle. The hardest situation with pockets and having an event that has 8 tables or 4 tables running at one time and only having 2 or 3 referees or 2 tables being fully officiated. It's a great shot.
Is he ready to interview?
You can do the interviews while the match is going. If you want. It doesn't have to be.
No.
No, I just wait.
Respectful to them.
I'll wait till the end. Big shot here required.
It is.
But it's not a smash. It's just you've got to.
You can just run it up to. Oh, ouch. He's got a cut in the centre here. But when you obviously, as I said, like you're going to have situations that you're not visibly watching, In pockets, we had table 1 and table 2 that were fully officiated with referees. Tables 3 and 4 and the other outside tables with 5, 6, 7 and 8, we had a roaming referee, so a referee would be available if they needed to be called in for something. And obviously every single table can't be watched. So there's been some situations where there's possibly been some disagreement on fouls, or someone's broken out a turn, or things like that, which things you can't obviously have someone judge there on the spot. We didn't have replay facilities on all our stream tables, only on table 1.
Just back to the frame here. What's the shot here? Is it up and down with confidence?
I'm definitely going up and down here.
Attack it, especially with an 8-5 lead, or all times you go to pot here.
Yep, I'm definitely going up and down here. Especially with the layout of the balls. Oh, geez, found though.
Back to what you were saying. A couple of times in the pocket for myself, I found myself having to grab you with the time clock.
Yep.
And it beeped, and then the 1 second thing, which was just sort of technical sort of things, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, for those who weren't aware, we actually had our own app and website developed for live scoring and for the time as a match clock. Unfortunately, it wasn't until sort of later on in the series that we realised that the timer was actually flawed, where the timer.
That's pretty much saying, hey, look, have a go, mate. You haven't knocked these in, and sorry, because I know you're talking about that, but we're still watching a match. It's like, here, Clint, it's here for you. I'm just going to knock your ball in, mate.
Yep. Definitely. So there was the app actually had an issue where instead of beeping down to 0 and then the main gong going off when it hit 0, the gong actually went off on 1. So while if you weren't looking at the shot clock, you wouldn't know that it actually hit 0.
So see, it actually, well, look, it doesn't matter. It actually cost me twice throughout the series, which is unfortunate because I got called for a foul as soon as it went to the 1. I've taught Anthony how to play the little soft one, the tiny ones. You just feather it like this.
Just drop down on it.
Like that. Just no one can see that, but I've taught him how to cue very. Okay. I would have thought snooker there, but okay, that'll do. I just thought the snooker was probably the shot there. Maybe he couldn't feather off that.
Yep.
Yeah, it cost me a couple of times that 1 second thing. But look, hey, things happen. There's faults in equipment. I'm not blaming any of that, mate. Maybe I needed to be a little bit quicker.
Well, I mean, again, we'll go back to the international rules. It states that you actually verbally count down from 5. So while we had an app developed that would actually have a beeper similar to our main shot clock, the rules state that you actually verbally count down from 5, which we made sure that was the case after that situation.
What he needs to realise here is that he doesn't need to screw this. He can, but okay. Well, he's left distance, which is good. I think he played more white ball safe there.
Yep.
And he's put. I've just got to.
That's all right. Reedy's just going to duck off and get some photos for the Chris-Shaun match. And you're going to be stuck with me. So anyone who wants to interact on the chat, make sure you say hello, drop a question. Feel free to say hello. Ask any questions. Any predictions? If you guys have got any predictions, let us know. We've got Scott Torrens versus Sam Taylor coming up on table 1. And Peter Kulawai and Tim Jenkins on table 2. That will be on a new stream. We will end the stream once the interviews have been done after these matches. And we will start a new stream, so please be aware that this stream won't be going on with the next round of matches. They will have their own stream. They're scheduled to start at 1:30. And a good finish there by Anthony. Reminder that Chris Livingstone beat Shaun Lorenz 11-4 on table 1. Anthony is currently 9-5 up on Clint Goyen. Anthony definitely looking the more composed of the two players. A lot of opportunities given by both players. Clint's been breaking well, always seems to have first opportunity at the table off his break, but just hasn't been able to capitalise. As Reedy joins us again, I was just saying that out of the two players here, Anthony's definitely looking the more composed of the two. They're both giving a lot of opportunities to each other, but definitely the more composed and the more...
I think that's something in coaching, and that's where I said, do you think coaching's important? I think you said it is. When I coach, I teach composure, and I teach being able to show good etiquette, and I teach being able to not spit it, and be able to brush mistakes, and play terrible shots and being able to wipe them, and then be able to start fresh. Because if you don't, you can maybe do what Clint's been doing, is capitulating a little bit and missing shots and then not getting over it and letting it affect him. And Anthony's had something go horribly against him in this match where he could have just dropped the bundle.
No, look, I agree. It's maybe the score been a little bit tighter, or maybe more towards the end of the frame. That could have affected them more mentally. But great shot. That knocks in. Oh, that's a great result. Now, Reedy, I'm probably going this long ball at the bottom corner. The way these tables are playing.
Talk to the player, please, mate.
Well, I'm going the long ball first. I'm probably taking this one that more in line with the 8 ball down this bottom right corner and leave myself on that one last. I know it's a bigger shot, but they were both big shots to play. Oh wow!
They don't know how to use it.
I'll be back in a sec. I've got to do some table maintenance.
Okay.
You know when you want something to eat.
Yeah, I think Anthony just needs here to pot this ball and get it right over the pocket. Don't need to do anything. Yep, and just say, here you go. Have a crack at that. So Clint really hasn't got a lot here. Anthony's put him in a in an uncomfortable situation where there's probably no snookers, and he needs to find something. He's probably got a double up to the top right pocket, maybe face double even. Okay, no, he's double kissed that and sent the ball safe and left Anthony a cannon, and he I think he'll take these out and get on the hill. Well played. That's all right. Well done. And now he's on the black to get onto the hill. He's just overcooked that and left Clint a real tester. He's unsure what he's going to do. Maybe for Clint, maybe it'd be worth trying to get a bit of safety out of this than just having a lash, I think. Or just take it on full-blooded. I think he's probably going to have to. He's tried to play a bit of safe, and he's got a bit of a result, but Anthony can just roll this softly down the pocket with a bit of a shot to nothing. If you just roll this over the pocket, it leaves Clint a tough one. You put it in or over, and that's all you got to do. Okay, so he's just got to roll it. And that was the best cued shot of the match, and wonderful black from Anthony. Great shot, Ant.
On the hill.
On the hill. Did you see the black he just knocked in?
No, I was just visiting the bathroom.
Yeah. Watch Nessie will replay it for you.
No, I can see it right now. And twice that frame, twice that frame, or the frame before.
And we seen him knock one of them
at the start of the frame.
Yellow.
Yep.
So, and he's on the hill, and
So Brent, you're going to do interviews with these guys. Just a quick, just a couple of minutes. Blah, blah, blah. Don't go on because it's 12:40. So we're pretty much doing a quick 10-minute changeover. Then you have to, I'll change it over, and then you need to interview the other boys just quickly so we can get it started at 1:30. Oh, hang on. Is it 1 or 1:30?
I'll have to ask him.
No, you don't have to ask them. I'll work it out myself.
Okay.
So used to 1 o'clock. No, it's 1:30. So that's fine.
Have you got any money for Alicia? Any money for Peter Cowley?
I've paid Peter. Yeah, so just do an interview and stuff like that.
Leash. Come and get the pineapple.
Have you got people for the next one?
Okay.
Have you got people for the next one?
I don't know. Alicia will do another one, and we'll find
Let's go
someone.
have some lunch, darling. Some breakfast soon.
They're just having a break here, and I think they're getting into it. Anthony's on the hill, leading 10-5 against Clint Goyen, and both first timers. Hopefully, Clint can win a few in a row for his supporters and his fans, and for himself, and get back into the match one frame at a time. If he can win, 2 or 3 in a row, make it 10-8. It's anyone's then. The pressure will then be on Anthony because he needs to finish. likes these money matches and wants to throw their hat in the ring and have a crack, send me a message and let me know
About the Reedy's Christmas Cup.
that you're interested. Also, the Reedy's Christmas Cup coming up on the 16th, 17th, is it? 16th, 17th, 18th with money matches as well. So it's 15th, 16th, 17th. Obviously, the Friday night we'll do the money matches. Saturday we'll do the round robin this year. And the last 64 or 128, depending on how many runners we get. I'm thinking we're going to get we could get 200 this year after last year. We had about 160 maybe, 160. So hopefully you come and support the Reedy's Christmas Cup and also, support Ipswich Clubhouse. Great venue, great food, awesome drinks. Nice people. So if you're interested in playing in any of these money matches and you think that your game's at a level that what you've seen so far, how about you flick me a comment, even if you've got to give me a private message. There's Barney Boy. Barney, there he is. Barney Boy will be back for the Christmas Cup. He's one of my favourites, the Barney Boy. Hello, mate, and congratulations again on your pocket series. It was incredible. I've got a lot of respect for Barney, his game. He's a better person than what he is a player, and that's taken nothing away from his game because he's a legend, wonderful pool player, but an even better bloke. So he did incredible. Was probably very, very stiff to not win at least two of the pocket series events. It was only probably the best player in the country and Mark Robertson that stopped him from winning two events. But Barney, credit to our game and credit to what he does for pool. He goes around Australia in his van with his beautiful family and promotes the game of 8-ball. He loves it. Anyway, back to the game, and we're 10-5 to Anthony, wanting to try and close it out.
You're making me blush.
Anthony, I don't know if you watched earlier, Barney made a wrong decision on the choice of balls and wasn't concentrating and took the wrong set after it was already a closed table. And Jay stopped the match because Alicia, the referee, didn't pick up on it. And we had to award the frame to Clint for taking the wrong set after it was already a closed table, which can happen to all of us if we're not on the ball. And sometimes with over concentrating or thinking about other things, we can all make those mistakes. We've got the great Jay Windross back in the seat. I'm talking to the great Barney Boy.
Oh, well, I've just been upstaged. Oh, nice pot there. We'll
nice
come back
pot.
to Clint just knocking that ball in. Barney, good to see you, mate. Welcome to the stream. Looks like Barney's got the thumbs up for Christmas Cup. Is he in?
Mate, he's in. You know what?
Yeah.
I'd love to do what
Ben
we
Judge?
did. I'd love to do what we did last year in that same place if it's possible. Did you like that?
I loved it. How it went to 3-4 in the morning, and we all get to stay.
No. I'm talking about where we stayed. I thought where we stayed was pretty cool.
Oh, it was
It was Pablo Escobar's joint.
We had a hidden staircase and everything. Oh, cool. Yep. I've just got to quickly run down and iron the table, so I'll be back.
Okay, he's out of there again. He's left me on my own. I hate being on my own in this commentary, but anyway, we can make it work. I've had enough experience at now. I don't profess to be a good commentator. I just try and keep it going. I'm no Jason.
either you or me.
I'm no Jason Smiley or Jamie Stevens. Never said I ever was, but I just try and give my feedback on frames and talk about it. And usually I'm okay with that, especially if I haven't had a drink, and I haven't had a drink yet. So you don't want me on the commentary when I've had a drink, because I don't know what colours people are on. Okay, Clint's in a kind of a scrappy frame, but the way Anthony sort of attacked this match, I just think he's just gonna try and create, especially with this sort of lead. I know the elite players would try and go game here for sure, and make it most times. Don't think he's hit that well, but I just think maybe he even just gets this red out that's in trouble, and or he might just tap this over. Okay, just don't. Oh, look, yep, look, he's getting flicks and nudges and all sorts. Get balls into play and on, because unfortunately this match Clint hasn't been able to capitalise on taking out finishes, and that's all he's got to do, and that's what he's done. Said, look, I'm just going to get these balls on. Unfortunately the yellow's coming across for Anthony and block the path, but good for Clint. They're all there for Clint now, and maybe he can get these last 4 or 5 and get a win on the board. Potting well, Anthony. Okay, he's got a bit more coverage there, a little bit of coverage. Clint's just got to somehow keep himself in the frame. There might not be an out, but
I just noticed, just after I'm on the table down there, I've walked around the room and Chris Livingstone just finished his money match and he's on the practice table already.
it's unreal. I love, mate. I'm the biggest, one of the biggest practices out there. With the,
You'd think you'd be better, wouldn't you?
With the least ability. Look, I'm on the felt. What do they say? I'm on the felt more than I'm on the table more than the felt. Yeah, but I have to, you know. Barney's similar. Barney said to me, he's just got to play, and I don't think he prepared for the champion of champions as good as what he had for the other ones, and we've seen what happened to Barney. He just wasn't at his best when he played the Western Australian lad. Alex Kingsbury, and I think he's got a bit of a look here, Anthony. I think he can just feather this red in, fine, and then he will come up. Okay.
I feel like he might be stuck.
And
yeah, that's what I thought. Something might happen.
I know.
Well, I think Barney had that at friend's place with the Supreme table.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of practice leading into the last 2 weekends of the Pro Series, I think, where the Champ of Champ, he didn't have that because they were touring the Northern Territory and doing some exhibitions for the kids. So definitely, I think it shows the. And again, last night with Josh, it shows preparation is key.
Well, you know, Josh, he said, I asked him flat out, how much have you put in? He says, I put in none. None. If you put in none, you're
Yeah.
going to get none back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's a good one for
You,
Clint.
you get out what you put in, don't you?
You do. You do.
Oh no.
Okay. He just swung at it and just steered it a little.
Steer it in.
Steer it in. And I think the way Anthony's potting, I think he'll knock this and take the game out the way he's been potting.
It's I have to admit it's a little bit tricky. Trying to land on the.
You just need just to hit it flush and screw it. Just don't overplay it. But he's queuing well, so I back him. Okay, he's just got right into that.
It's in.
And it's in.
It's in. Oh dear.
And that's just what happens. Needs to recompose. This is where he needs to recompose. Yep.
And this is how Chris won his match. He won off a bit of a jaggy black.
Okay. Recompose and get back into it. Forget about everything and get down and make the pot.
Which he has done. Well, guys, Anthony wins 11-5. We will get interviews up and going. Next matches will start about 1:30. So stick around for the interviews. We'll close off the stream and get ready for the new stream at about 1:30. It just means we can settle this up and get mics going and everything. So ready.
Brent, don't go far. You got to do interview stuff.
Hello, we're just going to have a little wrap up of some of the games we've just watched this morning. Here we've got Shawnee joining me to dissect a bit of the match and have a little chat. Obviously, always the uncomfortable seats. Always is, and I appreciate you having a couple of words with me because I know it's never easy if you have a loss.
Definitely.
And especially because you've got a lot of supporters here, and that's one thing I noticed that with any smashes, especially you've always got 10 or 15 people that are down here, and that's credit to you because you know you're such a good bloke.
Cheers,
mate. What do you think about the match?
I felt like I got comfortable very quickly. Didn't feel like I was playing too badly at all. Chris just played, phenomenal. I think he ran maybe 5, 6, 7 racks on me.
Yep.
When an opponent does that, it's very, very hard to bounce back at the end of the day. But I'm relatively happy with how I played. A couple of shots where I was disappointed with. A couple of in-offs where, you weren't expecting to go in off.
Yep.
But I'll rewatch the match, in a few days and see if I can dissect, what went wrong, what I can do better. I'll be
Mate,
back for some more.
very humble words, to give credit to your opponent, because I looked over there to this morning and I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought he hit a wonderful ball, and he just looked as though he was just a touch better than you today.
Yeah.
And on the day that can happen, I know you'll be back, because that's just you. You love it. You're a pool student.
Yep.
And whether it's back next card or 3 cards from now, you're back.
Yeah.
And you'll be back better, because that's just who you are.
Yeah. Always want more.
Always want more. Hopefully we see you in the Christmas Cup if things work out. And thank you for playing.
Cheers, Reddy.
Thank you.
I had this on the whole time when I was chatting to I had this on the whole time I was chatting to him.
I could hear him through Red anyway.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, mate.
These are the good seats, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Mate, look, I tell you what, we had a little chat, and I was looking forward to having a chat after your match today, so we'll talk for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Every time I looked at your table, because I was, she's just doing it. Okay, sorry. I was watching this table a lot, because I was probably a little bit biased on this table because I coach one of the lads, and
fair enough,
I didn't pay a huge amount of attention to that one, but I did. And every time I looked over and you had any kind of finish, you were taking them out.
Yeah.
Mate, your queuing today was second to none. The difference between your last match and this one was chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
And I think you should be thoroughly impressed of how you went yourself.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. I queued very well, and that's pretty much all I wanted to do. Like, I know what I'm capable of. I wanted to come here and queue, and just play the game. Towards the middle of the match, I think once I settled in, I started mapping my outs and going for them, and I was very happy with how I played. Apart from the last black.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw that.
Well, actually, I think was a fluke black, or was it? Or?
I fluked. Yeah, I done everything else, and then I fluked the black, and just to deny Shaun a visit to the table, so it would have been frustrating for him.
Yeah. How could you sum up the match, mate? Could you, like, talking from your opponent's point of view? Do you feel there was a swinging part of the match? Can you sum it up for everyone?
Yeah, I felt that, honestly, like, despite the scoreline, it could have gone either way. I think it was about that beginning. I think, the first few frames were kind of scrappy, and they could have gone either way. And by the time I got 3-4-1 up, I think I could have been sitting where Shaun's sitting, and I think I just put scoreboard pressure on him early on. I think it could have gone either way, but there was a bit of swing. I was 6-1 up at a stage, and then he pulled off a master break and then gained some momentum, won the next 3 frames, I think.
I actually seen when you were 6-1 up, and I think he won a couple, but then you could just see the glitter in your eye, the spark in your eye. At 6-3, you went, you know what? You. I'm taking this next finish out.
I did, yeah. I kind of G'd myself up.
I need to get this. You can see the determination in you, like, hey, look, well done, but I'm taking this finish out, and it was good.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, no, it felt good, and that is what I done. I was 6-3 down. I was like, this could easily
6-3 up, but
6-3 up, but it could easily be my downfall if I took my foot off the pedal a little bit. It's like, all right, get down, win this next one, and just deny him a visit. Just get down. Yeah.
Mate, moving forward, do you enjoy these matches?
Yeah, I do. I mean, the pressure was there. Even when I had a lead, I still felt the pressure, and I love it and hate it because it's different. Like I've done lots of tournaments, I've done the state trials, and I've done Dash for Cash and played against the state players, and it was just nothing compared to this. You know, just
This
the pressure,
is hard.
pressure that you put on yourself, and you know, all the things that are going through your head, and you're trying to imagine what's going through your opponent's head, and you know, it's it's different. I do enjoy it. Yeah.
Chris, do you recommend this kind of event or money games for the people that are up and coming to get used to playing pressure?
Yes, I do. I think if you want to have, if you're taking it taking it seriously at any level, you really need to know what you're made of, and this kind of match will, you know, you'll find out what you're made of, and whether it's for you or not. You know, I'd say get into it as soon as possible, and and it's a great opportunity to grow. You know, between matches, I think I've grown more between the two matches than going through coaching and leagues and everything else. So I think this will help players grow a lot quicker.
Chris, it was I think I might have even refed your match. Maybe I refed your match, and I got to have a look at you, and I seen a lovely cue action against, I'm just trying to think of his name. Jonesy. And I felt you left a lot out there, you know, in that in that match. And I thought, if you can compose yourself, which you did today, and play like you did, you just showed what you have.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do today.
And mate, I think you played without the pressure of what you did against Jonesy, and we got to see the real Chris today.
Yeah.
Love you back again.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
Love
back
to see you at the Christmas Cup.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Find out about that and when the dates are from that, and we'll talk, and hopefully you can play that tournament. And good luck in future matches.
Thank you very much, mate. Thanks for hosting these and, you know, giving us the opportunity to come and do this, mate. You know.
Our pleasure, mate. Well played.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, Clint. Hey Clint, how are you, mate?
I've been better.
I know you've been better. Thanks for having a couple of words. These are the tough seats. We say it every time.
You got to do it.
Well, you don't have to.
No, well, you have to.
Well, you can go home. You can go home without.
I wouldn't run away.
Look, I'll let you have a little bit of a chat about the match, and thank your backers and all that sort of stuff. And obviously,
I apologise to my backers.
Yeah. Tell me about how you felt in your first money match, and was it everything you thought it would be? Did you find it tough? Talk about it.
Yeah, was it tougher than I thought it'd be? Anthony played well.
Yep.
And just didn't work for me today. That's all I can say, really.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's just cut it short. First of all, Clint, thanks for playing.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for playing. Thanks for putting in the preparation and having sessions, and hopefully you could maybe go back and have a look at the frames and listen to a bit of commentary from me and Jay, and then, you know, maybe that can help you in the future in games. Do you think you'd like to do this again sometime?
Definitely.
Love to have you back.
Beautiful.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers.
All right, Big Ant.
How's it going?
Well, look, you know, it's pretty emotional for me as well. You know, because you know, we're great mates, but you know, when you run these cards,
You got to be neutral.
you have to be neutral.
Yeah.
Even though I tended to watch more of the pool on your side of things, so maybe it was closer.
Okay.
But I took special interest in your match because it meant a lot to me personally. I knew it meant a lot to you.
Yep. Wasn't the prettiest. I felt a little bit under the pump. I could have done better, but I'll work on it.
At the end of the day, you did so much of what you've practiced and learnt.
Yep.
So it was just awesome to watch because.
only the start.
Listen, we can improve on what you've done for sure, but this is your first one. So if we were to dissect it and we were to say, hey, what score do we give you today? Well, we have to give you a 9.
I felt like 7, but I'll take it on.
No, we have to give you a 9 based on it's your first one.
Yeah.
And you got a lot right in that match, and you made some big balls.
Yeah.
And especially at a time there where you would have been thrown off, but we've taught you composure.
Yeah,
we've taught you how to deal with adversity when it goes against you, like it did in that match.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the old Anthony maybe froze the water out of the bath.
Yeah, I would have lost it.
And
I felt like, you know what, let's just move on. It's just like, okay, I wasn't happy with 1 or 2 things, but it's don't let it bring your game down. It's you have to move on, because if you let them get hold of you, you don't come back from it. So
well, because I watched your composure in the whole match, and I had to come on and say to you, don't high five in the match. Only basically because it's a little bit disrespectful to your opponent.
Yeah.
And high fiving is something that you sort of do after you finish your match, not through it. Okay. But that's only a small part. But we work on that together.
Yeah.
Very proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Congratulations. Now, I mean, this is the start of your pool career, really, because whether you lost or won today, which you've won,
it didn't matter to me.
It didn't matter. It's the start of you've been on a journey.
And learning how to play under pressure was all it was about. So.
And I thought you were really good today, mate.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it.
And I look forward to seeing you in the next few days for a couple of crackens.
Yep.
And we'll have a celebrate.
And the next money match.
Good on you, mate, and well done.
Thanks, buddy.
And thanks to your supporters. Do you want to thank your backers or anything like that?
Yeah, backers, supporters, my family. I wanted to prove to my daughters that the last money match I had, I lost really badly against a really good player, but I wanted to show them that you can always lose and still come back from it.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted today. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Thanks a lot, and
thanks, buddy.
Well done.
Appreciate it.
Good on you, bud.
Yeah.
Hey, mates.
Okay, but I didn't ask you to come back in.
No, Nessie motioned to me to sit in and.
Is this where you just take over
shut
again?
you up?
Yeah, right. Because I do carry on.
Who impressed you out of the 4?
Oh, look, mate, the person who impressed me the most was 100% was Chris Livingstone. He was sublime today. He cued the best ball out of all the people I watched. He's someone with serious game that's knocking on the door of fringe state players. Okay, he's probably not quite at that level, but you showed that he could cue a wonderful ball, and he's ready to take on. He can look at players like an Ash Pilgrim and stuff. That's where he's at, and players like yourself. Okay, is he favourite? Maybe he's not favourite, but he can beat you. And that's what I've seen out of Chris Livingstone today. Wonderful to see Anthony. Wonderful to see Anthony. Wonderful to see Anthony play well. Someone I coach, and it's always good. Clint, he can learn a lot from that.
Absolutely.
And Shaun, you couldn't get a better bloke in the room, and he'll be better for that. And he'll go back, look through what we've chatted about, and he'll dissect it, and he'll be back.
I agree. I think every time we looked over at table 1, Chris was probably at the table 90% of the time. I think that reflected the score. He was always linking well. He was always executing well. He was getting position well. But definitely probably the most impressed. I could tell that you spent a lot of time with Anthony.
Really?
His composure was there. He was critical at times, but also just had his moments where he rushed a little bit and just sort of didn't let the thought process come in and execute properly, which I'm sure you'll both sit back and watch some of his match and say, look, here are some situations here which you could probably fix up. But definitely he definitely was I was impressed with him as well. I think he's going to come along well as
yeah,
well.
yeah. Thanks. That's really nice to hear that.
Yep.
Anyway, I think we've got to get into some other chats with the other boys in the
Yep,
other matches.
absolutely.
I think we have to finish that stream here.
No,
do we?
we'll close this off now.
Close that off.
Next matches we've got coming up is Scott Torrens and Sammy Taylor on table 1. And on table 2 we've got Pete Coolwhite and Tim Jenkins on table 2. Stream will be starting in about 15 minutes, fresh stream, so make sure you keep an eye out for when that stream starts.
Is Scotty in here yet, or? Okay.
Okay.